Okay, a couple of new videos for you today. Main thing I'm going to discuss is I've switched from the Leopold QRW mounts, which I previously found to be super repeatable, to a British company who are called Third Eye Tactical, well known in shooting circles as making ultra premium mounts and uni mounts and silencers and chassis and all sorts of fantastic engineering. They make scope mounts that have been made in less sort of separate movements than normal, separate actions than normal. Bottom line is they're super repeatable. So I've got a set of these rings and I've tested them at the range. What I do, as I'll show you now, is I put the scope on. There's only a single bolt holding them on, a big bolt on the bottom that holds them onto the rail. I do that up with a torque spanner, just to be, sure. I'll show you the one I use. That's just a Swish 7.2 volt electric screwdriver, but it's got a torque setting on the top. Don't know how accurate the ring is, but I've used that for ages for stock bolts and such like, and it has always done what I needed to do. But of late I bought something a bit better. This is Topeak. Topeak make lots of good mountain biking stuff, pumps and such like. And what you do is, this here is a carrier where you've got various sockets, and it also acts as a handle. The whole thing's about 5.5 inches long, and what you do is you put your thing in here, you torque the thing up, and this dial shows you how many newton meters you're putting on. And that's just old school torque measurement, and that works well. So what I do is I put the scope on with that, as I'll show you now, and then it will return to zero. I have shot a group at 100 yards that was real small, little fingernail, taken the scope off, put it back on, carried on shooting, and not being able to perceive the shift at 100 yards. So you're talking about keeping everything in a fingernail. It doesn't mean there's no clicks, but it's not a perceivable click, given that I wasn't shooting a zero group, if you see what I mean. But it wasn't far off a zero group, so you do not have to worry about this. I've taken it off at long range, shooting 400 yard rabbits, put it back on straight away, done. I've arrived at the on the field, on the hill, with the scope not attached. I've dialed it in, screwed it on, and I have hit things first shot. So I consider these to be perfectly repeatable if used with a high quality rail and done up with a torque wrench. You have to be methodical as to how you do that. You have to push it forward on the rail when you put the mount on. You have to push it forwards. You have to do the front one up first, back one up first. Whatever your regimen is, you have to stick to that. You have to use the same torque, but then it will shoot to the same hole. So I'll go and get the scope and we'll have a look at these mounts. Okay, so here's my trusty Night Force BR, and here are the mounts. I'm just going to turn the camera over here so that you get good focus. Right, there we go. They're kind of a grey, matte sort of look. Third Eye logo on the top. 2 M3s on the top, each side. Then, as you can see, there's this single, is that an M5? Pretty big anyway, single nut. But what's interesting is that there are guide rods in here. If I take this right out, let me do that better. Yeah. See the guide rods? There you go. So that doesn't twist but a tiny amount. It goes forward and back nice and accurately. That's captive, that's sealed, you don't adjust that one. And inside there, these edges, the inside is chamfered so that you don't nip the scope. But to tell the truth, they're made in so few passes, so few movements on the CNC machine, that they fit together like hermetically. There's no overlaps. In fact, in the early lots, they actually numbered the top and the bottom so that you wouldn't turn them round, because they were made that way and designed to be kept that way. What I do now is just simply keep the Third Eye logo facing one way, which is forward. But the tolerances are absolutely sublime. If anything in the world is going to be repeatable, it's these. And there's just this one big nut there. Okay, so I'll put that on the rifle and show you how I do it up for repeatability. Same as the QRWs, which I have no problem with. I just wanted to use a British product. And aren't these good looking? It's hard to see on the camera, but they're matte, like a brushed satin effect, which makes a lovely contrast to the shininess of the scope tube. Tell you what it looks like. It looks like the side of my Action, my Tikka Action. Not blued, sort of brushed. It's wicked looking. Chunky things them. Okay, you should be able to see me as I do this now. Okay, I've got the right size bit. So, loosen everything off. You must put it in the same groove each time. Now what I do is I use an extra bubble on the groove behind, the rail behind where I need to be. So my mount always goes just in front of my bubble. Therefore there's no confusion. I have moved a scope forward on a rail before and not moved zero, but generally speaking that would affect things, so you need to consistently put it in the same place. So get the same rail, push it forwards, just gentle pressure. And what my system is, gently do up, just to align, do up just to align, then torque the front up to always the same, which is 10 on my wrench, 10 Newton meters. And then the back one to 10. That will now shoot in the same hole. The Leopold did, and the Third Eye mounts do too. So thoroughly recommended. Obviously, if you want to be double, triple, mega sure, the uni mount, which is a big one-piece rail mount, which you can get with a bubble in, and also built-in elevation if you don't have elevation in your rail itself, or as well. They're a bit more money, a little over £200 I believe, but that's definitely repeatable as well. But these Third Eye single mounts, normal mounts, are lighter and obviously repeatable also, so I recommend them. I don't think there are many products on the market that are genuinely, you know, single click repeatable, but with a bit of care, these are, just as the excellent Leopold QRWs I previously found to be as well. Carrying the torque wrench is not the end of the world. It's not as big as it looks. Stick it in your range bag, you know, you're going to be cool. There are some very small rifle specific, shooting specific torque wrenches that you could try, but this little toe peak thing was only 15 quid, and it's been absolutely great for my purposes. I use it for my rings, my mounts, my bases, my bottom metal, you know, everything, so everything's uniform, which I do think helps with consistency. So yeah, there's a little video on the lovely Third Eye tactical mounts. Thoroughly recommended. Not prohibitively expensive for the quality that goes into them, compared to some of the premium American products. They seem pretty reasonable. They're 120 quid I think, the 30mm rings. So buy them once, got them for life, the end, you know. That is some premium shizzle there, so yeah, give it a go.